My name is Joe Peroni, and this is the Rise Above Project. And today I want to talk about making decisions from a position of strength. I'm going to give you 3 quick examples of this. So number 1, always be in a position to walk away. If you are trying to come up with a business deal or to buy something that you really want, you always want to have options. If you don't have options, you're going to spend too much or you're going to give away too much. Also, if you are a person who is not independent or you're not autonomous, you're much more likely to be abused or exploited in a relationship. This happens to a lot of different people. As a marriage and family therapist, I see this on a regular basis. Typically, it's women who are, again, not independent. What happens here? It's a woman, for whatever reason, she doesn't have a good job, she's not credentialed, she doesn't have a degree, she doesn't have a skill, and she ends up hooking up with the guy, and she ends up being in a position where things get worse. If you can't walk away from that, again, they're in a much more likely position to be abused or exploited. So the answer is to be able to put yourself in a position where you can take care of yourself and be independent. Number 2, never go shopping for food or anything for that matter if you are hungry. Why? Because if you go shopping when you're hungry, you're going to be more tempted to make decisions based on your current temptations. In other words, you're going to start grabbing cookies and ice cream and whatever it might be. You're going to be grabbing ready-to-eat foods, processed foods, high calorie, low nutritional junk. You're not going to be making decisions for the whole week. You're not going to buy foods that you're going to have to actually make and take time to prepare. That's not going to happen. The real interesting information here is that, it seems pretty obvious that if you're hungry, you're going to buy foods that are not healthy. That makes sense. But when you're hungry, you actually don't want to go shopping for anything. Studies have shown that you will spend 64% more money on things, and hungry shoppers bought 88% more products we're talking about non-food items. And I noticed this too in the bodybuilding world. This happens all the time. Bodybuilders who are hungry and they're training for a show, they tend to buy more clothing, they tend to buy more, in terms of entertainment, they do anything possible to trick their senses into or liking something else or enjoying something for a short amount of time, whatever it could be, as long as it's not a calorie and is going to add fat to their body. So again, do not go shopping if you are hungry. Now, here's probably the most important one of the day, about dating. If you want to date and you want to find a good partner for you, we're talking a long-term partner here, if you're overly lonely or you don't have a reasonable amount of self-esteem, you should probably wait until you do. Now, I understand that we live in this environment now where most people or a lot of people are lonely. And so I understand that. That's why I said overly lonely. Because if you're overly lonely, you're not going to make good decisions. It's not good dating practice to date or try to be in a relationship when you're looking for somebody, in other words, that you're hoping to be good enough for them. Because you want that relationship so much that you're hoping to click or get all their boxes, right? So you want to be able to satisfy them. It's like, oh, I hope they like me. That's not a good position to be in. When you have good self-esteem, what you're doing is you're looking for a person that fits into your life, of what you like, of what complements you. There's a big difference. Let's take a look at, let's take it off of human beings for a second. Let's say you go to a store, you need to buy a shirt, for example. So what you're doing is that you have a need and you're looking for this product and you're looking to bring a shirt home with you so you can use it and it's valuable to you. So it's all about the shirt servicing you. That's the way it should be. Now, you're not going to go to a store and go, look at that lonely shirt on the rack over there. It's the only one. I kind of feel sorry for it. It's not my size, it's not my style, it's not my color. There's nothing about it. But I want to know that I'm good enough for that product. And so you go and buy it. Does that make any sense to anybody? It shouldn't. With people, we tend to do that. Again, if you have a low self-esteem, you're trying to fit into somebody else's life as opposed to trying to match with somebody that you're trying to fit into your life. Let's look at it in terms of a car. You don't go to a car lot, right, with this thought of, okay, so I'm going to find this one car at the back of the lot that nobody really wants, that it's old, it's broken down, it's high mileage, it's high maintenance, there's no luxuries, no amenities here, bald tires, and you're thinking it's perfect. That's perfect for me. Why? Because nobody else wants it, and therefore, if I buy it, then I have value. Well, that shouldn't make any sense to anybody. You want to buy something that suits your needs. So when we're looking for a partner, there's a lot of people out there, again, if they have low self-esteem, they're not going to choose somebody who is independent. They're not going to choose somebody who's attractive. They're not going to choose somebody who that partner or potential partner really doesn't need them. Now, that person might be looking for somebody that they want, but they don't need you. So if you're a low self-esteem person, you're looking for that situation to where you're needed, that person needs you, that you could fit into their life, that you could fix them in some way that makes you seem more valuable. It's not going to be good if you're a low self-esteem or lonely person and you're trying to maybe date somebody that is independent and who doesn't need you. You're not going to feel wanted in any way, and your low self-esteem is going to take you away from that. So you're going to choose somebody who's beneath you. And what the thought there is that if you give everything of yourself to somebody who's beneath you, they're of course going to be extremely loyal to you, and they're going to be, just yours forever because you're just so nice and giving and caring to them, that of course they would pay you back like that. But we're forgetting we're dealing with human beings here. We're not dealing with dogs and cats who they would be loyal if you save them, but these are human beings. This is not going to work out in your favor. So what's the best thing to do? The best thing to do is to not be in relationships where you're struggling to stay in it to make somebody like you, or where you're trying to work all the time to get on somebody's good side to make sure that somehow you're good enough for them. You should be good enough for you, and you should be looking for what you want in a relationship. That's what high self-esteem people do. And if you are not lonely and you are good with who you are, you're good with your own company, you're going to have a much better chance of choosing people out in the world, because you're not going to just choose anybody. It's the same thing when you go shopping. If you're starving to death, you're going to grab no matter what it is. As long as it's available, it's near you, you can eat it really quick. It can have no nutritional value whatsoever other than it fills your stomach up at that time. And it's the same thing with human beings. So, a quick review. You want to make all your decisions from a position of strength. Make sure you eat well, make sure you educate yourself, and make sure that you're doing the best you can to reach your full potential as a human being, and try as hard as you can. So you know that when you put your head on the pillow at night, when you're going to go to bed, that you've done everything possible to be a better person, and that will increase your self-esteem, and that will increase your decision-making skills. My name is Joe Peroni. Hopefully this has been valuable to you in some way. I will see you next time.